Hello, I'm Dan Ginter, and this is David Bill. We're members of the Coweta Falls chapter, Georgia Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. In order to be a member of the Revolution, the Sons of the American Revolution, we have to be able to trace our family lineage all the way back to someone who participated during the American Revolution. Our mission is,
with the Coweta Falls chapter, our mission is the Sons of the American Revolution is a leading male aligned society that perpetuates the ideals of the war for independence as a historical, educational, patriotic, and a nonprofit corporation. We seek to maintain and expand the meaning of patriotism, respect for our national symbols, the value of American citizenship, and the unifying force of e pluribus unum that was created from the people of many nations, one nation and one people.
I'd like to thank the Muskogee County School District and especially Gentian Elementary for allowing us to film this today. Our traveling trunk is a program that we go from school to school, but with the coronavirus epidemic, we just can't get into the schools to talk with the students. So we figured that if we filmed this, then each teacher could have the students pull this up and look at it when they want. Our goal is to go with the fourth grade standards of the state on the American Revolution. Now, first of all, these weapons that we have here are non-firing. We have permission to bring them into the school, but they are non-firing. They look like, they act like, but they're non-firing. Now, I want to warn the students, do not bring anything that looks like a weapon or is a weapon to the school, because as you all know, that's illegal and you will be taken out of the school in handcuffs by the police. Now, to start with, we want to talk about why people came over to this country. If you look at the map up here, you can see that the colonies are pretty much set there. Up in the north, we have what we call the New England colonies. Down around New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, you start having the middle colonies. And then down below that, Virginia, all the way down to Georgia, you have the southern plantation colonies. One of the other areas that is talked about in the standards is called the frontier. That's beyond all the colored states there that you see, and that's a frontier where people go to seek adventure or to seek getting away from the police, the law. Now, life up in the New England colonies is pretty rugged. The ground is it's not good soil. Crops are not good for growing. The things that they do have are large trees. They have the trees that make masts for ships. They make ships. They make ropes. They fish a lot. And the houses primarily are made out of wood. Some of them do not have wooden floors. Children were not required to go to school because they wanted to be an apprentice to learn how to make ships and so forth. Now, if you come down to the middle colonies, you had three main rivers that ran north and south. Now, this was important because they would put their crops on there. They had a lot of fertile land to grow crops. And they put them on these ships and they'd move them from north to south, and it was good for commerce. They also had a lot of ports there. They had New York, they had Philadelphia, and Boston. When people would come over, they would go into these ports and they would stay because they said, hey, this looks like Europe. I traveled 3 to 6 months on a ship to get over across the ocean to get here, and now I've got a place over here. So they stayed, and when they stayed, these little communities became bigger and bigger and bigger. And with those big communities came a lot of problems. So they had to figure out how to handle. They had all the smiths there, the coppersmiths, the silversmiths, coppersmiths. They had all the smiths there, blacksmiths. And then they had people who did doctors, they were lawyers, they were teachers. You had everything. Houses were made out of wood or brick. A lot of them were brick. They had wooden floors. They had nice furniture, nice ornaments, and life was good. It was just like being back over in Europe. Then you come down to the southern colonies, and you had Charleston and Savannah as the main ports. Here you had your large plantations. They had some fertile land, and they started growing tobacco. Primary crop was indigo, to make indigo ink. With these large plantations, they had to have somebody maintain them. And as the land got bigger, the children were not working, they were going to school and getting an education, then that's when they needed extra help. That's when about over 400,000 slaves were brought in at that time.